When it comes to horror movies that feel like Halloween night, there are a handful that truly capture the spirit of the holiday. I'm talking jack-o'-lanterns glowing, trick-or-treaters running around, and that unmistakable October chill in the air. These films aren't just scary, they're drenched in atmosphere that just screams Halloween. Today we're going through 5 horror movies that are the perfect Halloween atmosphere and vibe and are perfect for your spooky season watch list. And for this list, I wanted to go into the mainstream movies that everyone thinks about when they think Halloween night. Because we're going to do a movie with underrated Halloween movies later on, so stay tuned to see that. Also, this is like my favorite subgenre, not only of horror, but just in movies in general. I love Halloween vibe movies that just put you on Halloween night, just make you feel like you're there with them. It's so magical and special, and I usually end up giving leeway to ones that are even bad because I just love the vibe so much. But these are the ones that crushed it and everyone knows about them. And I know it's not exactly Halloween, but for me, and I know probably for most of you watching, every day from September to October 31st is Halloween, so happy Halloween. Surprisingly, it was kind of difficult to come up with this list and find horror movies that actually take place on Halloween night. I swear there was a ton of them, but when I went to sit down and actually make this list, it was kind of hard. So if I missed any, drop them down below. Before we get into this list, if you enjoy the video, drop a like and hit that subscribe button to help out the channel. But without further ado, let's get right into these Halloween movies. The first movie here on this list is Halloween from 1978. The obvious classic when it comes to Halloween night movies. This one's talked about over and over again for a good reason. It defined the slasher subgenre, and it still holds up 4 decades later. On Halloween night in the small town of Haddonfield, Illinois, masked killer Michael Myers escapes from the sanitarium after 15 years and returns to his hometown. As babysitter Laurie Strode and her friends prepare for a night of trick-or-treating and parties, Michael stalks them through the shadows, silently, patiently, and with terrifying precision. Even though Halloween was actually filmed in the fall, it feels like Halloween. From the pumpkins on porches, to the trick-or-treaters roaming the streets, to that iconic shot of Michael lurking behind the bushes, the fall vibes are immaculate. John Carpenter managed to create a film that was both terrifying and atmospheric, blending suburban comfort with creeping dread. And the simplicity of this is just what makes it so timeless. There are no over-the-top effects, no wild gimmicks, just pure suspense, and it works flawlessly. Not to mention the pulp culture status that Michael Myers has achieved over the years. He has become just a cult icon, and whenever you go out on Halloween, you are bound to see not 1, not 2, not 3, but probably 100 different Michael Myers dressed up trick-or-treaters. Everyone is always Michael Myers, and that just adds another layer to the Halloween vibe of this movie. Fun fact, the famous mask Michael wears was actually a cheap Captain Kirk mask from a costume store, painted white and modified to look expressionless. It's crazy to think that one of the most popular horror icons of all time started with something so simple. And it's kind of similar to the Scream story behind their mask as well. Also, John Carpenter not only directed the movie, but he composed that iconic score that you will hear and know it's from Halloween. That chilling piano theme is one of the most recognizable pieces of music in horror history, and it single-handedly amplifies the terror in every single scene. You can currently find Halloween streaming on Zumo, Plex, Apple TV, Prime Video, to name just a few. The second movie here is Halloween 2 from 1981. I know what you're thinking, I'm picking all the cliche movies, and yeah, you're right, I kind of am going for those mainstream films. But if you're gonna watch the original Halloween, you gotta follow it up with the second Halloween, which came out in 1981 and picks up right after the first film, continuing literally seconds after it ended. After surviving her terrifying encounter with Michael Myers, Laurie Strode is rushed to Haddonfield Memorial Hospital, but Michael isn't finished. As Dr. Loomis and the police scramble to track him down, Michael turns the quiet hospital into a night of terror, eliminating anyone who crosses his path while relentlessly hunting Laurie. I always loved sequels that picked up right where the original left off, and Halloween 2 nails that spot on. It literally picks up seconds right after the movie ends. It makes for a perfect, terrifying double feature that kind of feels like an extended cut of the original film. You get to see that same Halloween night vibe, and you get to follow Laurie trying to fight for her survival against Michael. It's just so cool to watch again. It's so cool how we get to see the aftermath of, the trick-or-treaters, how they're winding down for the night and how these parties are ending, and this girl's trying to figure out how to get back to work and also drop her friends off. Just those things that would happen after a party. And then you also get that Halloween vibe going on. And it's just so cool to see that, and also how the town is reacting to realizing there's a serial killer on the loose. And then we get to see some pretty cool kills. That Michael is just such a guy. He's such a terrifying guy because he just got done killing all these people. He sees the cops are after him, but still on his way to go find Lori, he decides to just stop. Might as well kill some old people here while they're making sandwiches. Michael's just so terrifying and iconic in this once again. While the fall vibes aren't quite as strong as the original film, the hospital scene tension absolutely makes up for it. If this were to be the last Halloween movie that ever came out, it would have worked for me because it just closes this story in such a satisfying way. And yes, we still wonder why the hospital had like 2 workers on duty for the entire night. This is the movie where the infamous plot twist that Lori was actually Michael's sister first developed, and that's one of the integral pieces of this whole entire franchise that was picked up for decades to come. Also, fun little fact, John Carpenter didn't direct this one, but he came back to help write and produce it, which is why it still has that similar tone and it stays consistent with that original film. You can currently find Halloween 2 streaming on Peacock, Apple, and Prime. Our third movie is Hocus Pocus from 1993. Sometimes Halloween vibes aren't about pure terror. They're about fun, magic, and a little bit of spooky charm. And that's exactly what Hocus Pocus delivers. And honestly, no Halloween list feels complete without it. The story follows teenager Max, his sister Danny, and a new friend Allison, who accidentally resurrects the legendary Sanderson sisters, 3 witches executed during the Salem witch trials. The witches return to modern-day Salem determined to suck the life force out of children to stay young forever. And it's up to the kids, plus an immortal talking cat, to stop them before sunrise. This one is pure Halloween comfort. It's a little spooky, but also it's family-friendly, which makes it the perfect intro horror or gateway horror movie. Or a horror movie for kids if you consider it a horror movie, because it shows that not all witches, not all monsters have to be mean and evil. Some are kind of fun. They can be fun. They can sing songs and they can be up to no good, but at the same time still have some fun to them. And then with that, the kids will like that movie and then maybe venture off into horror and become horror fans. So that's why I think this is the perfect gateway horror movie. The atmosphere is incredible, largely because it's filmed in Salem, Massachusetts, which shows in every shot you get that New England magic. And it just works so well with the autumn and Halloween vibe that it is just so great. I really love the vibe of this movie. The performances are so much fun too, with Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Kathy Najimy bringing the Sanderson sisters to life in the most over-the-top hilarious way possible. Add in the musical number, I Put a Spell on You, and it's just impossible not to smile. When it released in 1993, Hocus Pocus was actually a box office disappointment, but over the years, it grew into a full-blown cult classic. Now, it's practically a required viewing every October. Fun fact, they filmed in a lot of real buildings in Salem, and a lot of people go to visit them every Halloween, including myself. I went to visit them last Halloween, and if I have a few pictures, I'll throw them on the screen right now. Super dope, and it was a super fun adventure to go see those. You can stream Hocus Pocus on Disney Plus, of course, and it's usually featured in Freeform's 31 Nights of Halloween lineup. Our fourth movie is Trick or Treat from 2007. If there's one horror movie that absolutely embodies the Halloween tradition, it's this one. Trick or Treat is an anthology movie that feels like a love letter to every single Halloween tradition out there. The film weaves together multiple stories happening in the same small town on Halloween night. From a creepy school principal with a dark secret to a group of kids exploring a haunted quarry to a woman who hates Halloween getting more than she bargained for. All these stories connect, and at the center of it, Sam, a mysterious trick-or-treater in orange pajamas and a burlap sack mask who silently enforces the rules of Halloween. This is hands down one of my favorite anthologies ever made. What makes it so special is how it captures the full spirit of Halloween. You have pumpkins glowing on porches, costumes everywhere, the sounds of kids trick-or-treating, but then it flips into something eerie and unsettling. Each segment has its own flavor of horror. Some are creepy, some are darkly funny, and some are just straight up disturbing. And by the time everything ties together, it just feels so satisfying. And of course, Sam has become an absolute icon. He's adorable, he's terrifying, and he absolutely embodies that childlike mischief that makes Halloween Night so unique. Not to mention, he has become so much of an icon that you can't escape him. He's everywhere, in every Spirit Halloween store all over the place, in every Halloween shop all over the place. I mean, I drank a Trick or Treat energy drink with Sam on the cover of it when I went to Salem last year. And I mean, come on, you can't help but love it. Sam from Trick or Treat. Energy drink. Here's something wild. Trick or Treat never had a wide theatrical release. It was shelved for 2 years by the studio and eventually went straight to video in 2009. But horror fans quickly embraced it, and now it's one of the most loved Halloween movies ever made. A lot of people consider a modern classic, including myself. This is a work of art. In fact, the cult following grew so big that a sequel is officially in development. And I don't know how official that news is, but I can't help but get my hopes up. So, Sam, don't let me down. You can find Trick or Treat streaming on Prime and Apple, but during Halloween, you can pretty much find this on any streaming service most of the time. Our 5th movie on this list is Terrifier 2 from 2022. Now to end this list with something absolutely brutal. If you want Halloween vibes and great Halloween atmosphere, but also want to see some of the most shocking kills of the past decade, Terrifier 2 delivers it in spades. After surviving his supposed death, Art the Clown is resurrected and returns to terrorize Miles County on Halloween night. This time, he sets his sights on teenagers Sienna and her younger brother Jonathan. As Art's sadistic rampage escalates, the siblings uncover a strange connection between their family and the supernatural evil behind Art's existence. I debated putting the original Terrifier here, but the sequel is what absolutely exploded and put this franchise on the map. And in this video, I did want to go with some of the more mainstream Halloween movies, so I'll be talking about that original one in a different video. I love that movie as well. It's not just blood and guts, though it does have a lot of that. It's more. It makes Art the Clown feel like more than just a slasher villain. There is so much lore that's built in this movie, it's insane. What I love most is that it still has all the Halloween vibes. You get the costumes, you get the parties, you get the trick-or-treat bowls left on porches, and a special homemade trick-or-treat bowl. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. And all that while Art is out there creating absolute chaos in Miles County. Watching this in October just feels right, especially if you're someone who craves that intense vibe, but also doesn't mind looking away during a few very rough and brutal kill scenes. I'm someone who values lore so much, and this movie just continues the lore and sets up the rest of the franchise in such a perfect way that I just really adore it, and it works so well for me. Most horror franchises get passed from director to director, so the lore doesn't build because all these directors are trying to go a different direction with the franchise. But Damien Leone loves Art the Clown. He loves this character he's made, so he connects all of the movies together in this one universe of this franchise, and it works so well. And it's just, you can tell this is Damien Leone's baby. He puts so much work into these movies, and that is a reason why I think Art has become such an icon, because all the love for this character is shown in these movies. This movie became a phenomenon once it hit theaters, with reports of vomiting and passing out during screenings, which only fueled the hype. Something that I can't tell if it's true or not, because I don't know, do people actually throw up and pass out during movies? I just don't know if that's true. Anyways, what's crazy is that this crowdfunded $250,000 and went on to make over 15 million worldwide. That kind of success is so rare to see in modern horror. Terrifier 2 is streaming on Pluto TV and Tubi for free, and also Peacock and some other places as well. Alright, that's my list of 5 Halloween movies that you need to watch, but if I had to pick just one movie from this list, it would be Trick or Treat from 2007. Here's why it's the ultimate Halloween movie. It doesn't just tell one story, it gives you an anthology of interconnected tales, so there's a little something for everyone to enjoy. You have creepy, funny, suspenseful, atmospheric. It hits all the notes. And on top of that, it feels like Halloween itself was captured on film. The pumpkins, the costumes, the traditions, and of course, Sam. It's just unbeatable for an October night watch. So if you're only going to pick one movie from this list to watch, make it Trick or Treat from 2007. Now I want to hear from you. What are your go-to Halloween night movies to watch? Did I miss any classics that deserve to be here? Drop them down in the comments below. Let's build the ultimate Halloween horror movie watch list together. And if you think I missed any, stay tuned. They might be in an upcoming video. Please drop a like and hit that subscribe button, or Sam will be paying you a visit next Halloween. Thank y'all so much for watching. Have a blessed day and happy Halloween. Peace!